Alright, Jay. This is two statistics. In today's video, we're going to talk about gentlemates in Inferno. This is the old Iberian soul roaster, so they are picked up by gentlemates yesterday. A very interesting roaster because they play very well. They had the addition of Martinez SA that was playing my region in the 9Z, and the team works very well on how they behave on the map. That is something that I'm going to show. They're going to always make the emphasis in this aspect because they play well positioning the map, moving the map, acting according, making the right decisions, make the right utility usage. So we're going to show this, okay? Starting with the CT profile, something that makes the differential from another teams in the Inferno is that approach for the mid pick, because they will always start the round with at least one player going there. Most of the time, gonna be Martinez with the WP taking out this engage on the mid. That's why I highlight this position right here. That's because you're gonna go here and then engage with the WP and then move, quick movements. And they also behave like Vitality that has this open rotator. In this case, is the VD. The Vich places open rotation in this part of the map that can either go A side, on the B side. No, he moves a lot. And then they make this banana utility control because I'm gonna show you that there always this utility. They really like this Molotov in this corner right here. They're gonna be a staple for the banana approach. The smokes, they are well timed, and as we see, because they have a good coach and a good assistant coach playing for this strat. I know that I don't know, but I guess that is their suggestions on the team on how they work. I guess this that they work and they're doing because their protocols are very good. Rotator AWPI. As I said, Martinez right here starts on the mid peak and then goes to his position in the Pyro region. And then we have to David's position. That is because most of the time he is starting this rotator position right here and then move. Most of the time, you're gonna be on the A side. So they play with this 3B setup. And then we have Alex in this position right here, taking out the engage with Sazal. Sorry, Sazal here. Taking out the position with Mopos playing on this utility control. That's why they have always one player right here in this part of the map. That's because he's responsible for the timing on the utility. You see the Molotov, the smoke, then they start with another smoke. Meanwhile, on the A side, they will go for this engagement. Closing out the map. The Duel Banana. The Duel Banana is a more aggressive position on the map. And this part of the position, it's not they are committing a lot, but they are going for the duels, especially on the banana. That's why we see this time Alex plus Mopos right here in this position. Instead of one player going for the utility control right here or right here in the CT spawn, they go for the duels. So they are waiting for trades, they are waiting for the T's movement. And since they are more in an open position, the banana, this opens the fragility on the A side, and that is because we see the Vigi going for the mid pick instead of Martinez. So Martinez will stay in this corner right here for the trade angle because if the T's are going to rush on the mid in the boiler position, they're gonna run out over the Vigi. So the Vigi will die, will be the bait, and then Martinez will get the trade kill. That is because they are following the protocol. The Vigi. If he dies, well, okay, he's an excellent player. He has the highest rating in the front of our gentlemates. But it is, whatever. He died. What is matter is that Martinez is able to trade his skill. Or Sazal move charge shorter right here and then trade his skill. So they have these two options. The WPB. The WPB is a more aggressive position to the A side, because in the same time that I showed in the previous round that they are aggressive in the B side and then three players on the A side, they shift three players for the same position on the B side and two players in the position and aggressive on the A side. And that's why we see Alex plus Mopos right here. So they play near the sandbag, the car position, near the wall right here, are waiting for the engagement. That's why we see only in the start of the round, only this Molotov. Because they open for the T's what they want to throw. They are waiting for the T's to throw their utility so they can now counter their utility. With an AD to break out the smoke right here, the secondary smoke from the T's in this position. And then Martinez is waiting the WP in both long angle and also in the CT spawn. Meanwhile, since they are very defensive position, waiting for the duels right here, they can open the aggression. As I said, they shifted the aggression in either these 3-2 setups, either in 3A as I showed you on the previous round, or in the 3B as I'm showing now. So the video goes for the mid duel right here in the peak, and then Sozo, instead of playing the apartments for the house position right here, He's playing the boiler, so he's awaiting for the aggression, and he can also jump out in the stairs to gain more space in the map, to control more space of the map, as the video is awaiting right here. So there is always this dynamic of the protocol. The side with two players, you go for aggro position. The side with three players, go for a defensive position. And this relies on the reads on the map of what the teams are going to do, on how they prepare for the teams they're playing against. And now for the 3B setup, a little different from the what I showed you, because this time they're going from aggressive position the banana. But the difference here is that Martinez isn't on the 3-player setup, Martinez is the 2-player setup. So the aggression relies on him being traded right here with Sazol. That's why we see Sazol in the paddle and then he in this corner. Meanwhile, we have the Vid to throw the utility. So the Vid will control the utility and then Alex plus Mopos will play out this controlled region. So they take the chance to go for the aggression with the Vid playing the utility, with the Vid controlling the round, and open the A side for the more defensive position. And as the last formation, the last setup for the CT, this is the fast aggro. I saw they play against this was Nemiga, if I'm not wrong, that they play this full aggro setup that I really like it because this show how strong Jane Tomato is with this aggressive position. So how strong they behave and how strong they believing the teammates to make the right decisions, to make the right calls in either side of the map. And once again, we see the video as the connector because he can even continue the position the banana, the aggression the banana region, or rotate back and then go for the position for the aggression on the A side. But most of the time, most of the characteristic from what I heard as this position against the Miga was that they are going for the simultaneous attack with two players in each side and the Vid going for the +1 to rotate in case something goes wrong. In the banana, as I showed you already, made this circle right here to go for full control and flank around. In the short position, for the house position, is the same approach. Control the boiler, control the apartment's position, control the mid, but with two players going from their house. Okay, so go for their house, ignore the short, ignore the upper position because they rotate back from boiler. So they return for the position in this part of the map, in the payload position. And now going for the T profile. The T profile, they also really like this mid present with quick full buys. They're gonna attack fast, move fast in the map, but the characteristic, their default setup, is the 3 banana player setup. It's how they play the map, it's how they behave the map. Because what I usually see from other teams play on the on the chief side of the map is that they forgot the word. Is that they concentrate the players right here in this part of the map, in the lower part of the banana. But Jane Tomatoes, no. Jane Tomatoes like to play more aggressively. They play right here, in this part of the banana. And this is something interesting because this breakouts the heat map of the game, There another aspect is that they make this dual aggression right here in the boiler position plus the mid, but it's a soft aggression, there with one player in either side, but their concentration is here. As I said, the split banana is this position, 3 players with the triangle, with Martinez, Mapos, and Alex right here controlling this region of the map. And they take their time to control, they take their time to throw the chills, they take their time to take out the duels. And the reason is that they always putting the CTs in check, because the CT must have at least one player in the sandbag, in the car, right here in this part of the map. Because if they give too much space for Gentomate will push banana, they will keep push with 3 players. And if not, they still have the space, they still have the time to think, they still have the time to adjust their position. And that is something good, that is something nice to have because most of the tier 2 teams that they play against don't have the structure, the timing to prepare for the maps. There is a lack of analysts, there is a lack of coachings make all the job for them. So either the players playing like 2, 3, sometimes BO3s in the same day, there is like 6 maps, 9 maps in the day. Imagine you have to prepare for all these parts of the map. So when they make this content expression that is off meta, that is something that not other teams doing, they cut off out prepare the teams, and that is burns a lot because their T side works sometimes is strong, sometimes not, because it relies in the game of the teams not being able to reach this standard position of them, because this split banana is how they play the map, is how they adjust to the map. And now to the house charge, something that I really want to highlight is that the three semi players that were in the banana, that is Martinez, Mopos plus Alex, are the players in the short position, because they come out from the banana. They started around in the banana controlling, as I showed in the previous setup. They started around right here and then move. And also this frees up the Sawzall plus the Vig position in the house here. So this is how important it's for them to control the banana. Even when they rotate the banana players, you realize that it's the same three players in the same spot moving the same timing. And that is how it happens, this house and short split attack. And it's something they're gonna show constantly on their playstyle of the map. In order to this to work, this movement from here to here, they have to make the smoke near the top region, the upper region, to block out this rotation or to not giving enough information. Because something that I saw in a few demos from them is that sometimes one player will move here, two players will move in this upper position, and then sandwich the position with two players here, two players here. That is because they're hiding the players right here. There isn't a full attack. That's why Alex is the only player in the short position, or that is the only in this part of the map, in this section. Now to the A rush, as I said, there is the option of two players going up, two players going down. That is something that is happening right here. That is why I'm showing you. That is the reason why this is so impactful for them. They block out the position with the utilities, with the Molotovs, the smoke. I know that there isn't any Molotovs in the map, but the Molotovs is usually in the pit position, sometimes inside the bomb site right here to block out the player behind in this box right here. Because when you rotate to aggressive short, there is always one player here or here. So they Molotov this position to remove them. And the rush is very straightforward. What the small difference from other teams is this split that I showed you. That is the same thing as the other part of the map. You split the players and then you engage with also very fast timings. And then the B rush, it's very straightforward. There isn't much to talk because every team does this. This is a simple tactic that is what every team are doing because it works a lot. The banana rush works because it is simple, it is effective, and these duels will happen fast. What I should highlight here is that this is a necessary force buy approach because what the teams usually does in this banana rush is force buys. You buy some Galils, you buy the Tech 9s, maybe you have a FAMAS from the CTs, maybe M4 from the CTs, but they're mostly of the time lower economy. But for Gentlemates, that is not necessarily true. They can attack with the AKs, with the WP, the Banana Rush. That is because they work fast. Because even though I highlighted that they really like the three players controlling the banana, they also move fast sometimes in the map. There isn't that stall control that they usually saw from teams like Perivision with Jamie. They play the turtle module really slow, progressing slow. No, Gentlemates, either in rush, either in the stop position, they play faster. They are faster compared to other teams. If we could average the time of the attacks, for sure the Gentlemates will have a really high average compared to others, because they play fast in these situations. And that's it, guys. I hope you like the content. Something that stands out from Gentlemates is that as I said, these protocols from them, they play together, they play fast, and they play strong on either CT or either side. And about future content, I know that I really must talk about most merge. Most merge is even counting some. I don't know how to say this in English. It's flying the bug. It's flying. Flying. Am I right? No, that bug. And anyway, because I really it's causing webs in the spiders. Because if you look out in the other video, you're gonna see that it's always Mouse Mirage, and I never talk about Mouse Mirage because every time they're playing another different tournament, and I always trying to looking to make the most recent maps and the most recent tech, but I will talk about that eventually. There's also TNL Nuke that I really want to talk about, and then there is D2Rs in the Dust 2. I don't know if you maintain the D2Rs because before recording the video, I just was watching the Twitter and saw that clean the WP from G2Rs is moving to MRBR from IBR. So I don't know because I don't like to make these calls make this video when they remove the players. And anyway, there is also the Ko-fi if you want to help the channel, donating money. Either way, you can subscribe. It is free to subscribe, to write down suggestions in the comments. And that's it. Bye bye.